So if you're a chiropractor listening in, maybe you felt it sometimes, that tension,
Mm-hmm.
feeling a bit pulled, maybe lost in the day-to-day business stuff,
Mm.
or maybe just uncomfortable with some of the really pushy sales tactics you sometimes see. Does that sound about right?
Oh, definitely. It's something we hear a lot, and it's interesting because most people get into chiropractic wanting to help, right?
Yeah.
To facilitate healing.
Exactly.
So this idea of being like an aggressive business machine can feel, well, wrong, almost inauthentic.
Totally inauthentic. And that's really what we're digging into today in this deep dive. We're looking at a potential shift, a big one.
Okay.
Moving away from just focusing on the external stuff, the latest marketing fads, the quick fixes. That's sort of the outside-in way.
Right. The allopathic model applied to business growth, almost.
Yeah, good way to put it. Instead, we're exploring how to grow from the inside out. More of a vitalistic approach, you could
Uh,
say.
I like that. Inside out.
Think of it like finding and correcting communication subluxations.
Ah, communication subluxations. Explain that.
Well, those little misalignments, right, between who you really are, your genuine self, and how you're actually coming across, how you connect with patients. Fix those.
And things start to flow better.
That's the idea. Easier, more effective, feels better.
That resonates. It really ties into some of the things our sources talk about authentic leadership, for sure, and this concept of a velvet revolution in business.
The Velvet Revolution, yeah.
It's this move away from, the traditional predator model, that constant win-at-all-costs mentality.
Right. Our sources definitely critique that. This whole culture that often pushes this like lion or huntress persona.
You see it everywhere, don't you? The focus on dominance, needing to be the top dog, showing off the material success that supposedly comes with it.
But like you said, does that really mesh with the core of chiropractic, which is often much more about, well, enabling the body's own wisdom?
Exactly. For a lot of chiropractors, trying to put on that aggressive persona feels forced. It's exhausting, actually. It's not you.
It's draining.
Yeah.
And you hear that advice constantly, right? Stop being vanilla. Like you have to be loud and flashy.
Yeah, be some crazy flavor nobody's ever heard of.
But one of our sources actually talks about the unexpected power of being vanilla. And I thought, wow, that's interesting.
Okay, tell me more. The power of vanilla.
Yeah, basically saying, look, it's okay not to fit that loud, dominant ruler archetype. There's nothing wrong with vanilla. Some people love vanilla.
That's refreshing. It pushes back against that pressure to always be on, always performing, always selling yourself in this really overt way.
Right. It says different styles work. You can be successful being you.
Which is crucial if you're trying to build a practice that feels, well, sustainable and genuine.
Which brings us right to that velvet revolution idea in business. Now, revolution sounds intense,
Right, maybe implies conflict.
but the source uses the fall of the Berlin Wall as a parallel. A huge shift, but not a violent one.
Ah, okay, so it's a metaphor.
Exactly. For a gentler way,
Yeah.
a more authentic approach to building your practice, free from that constant FOMO, the fear of missing out.
And maybe free from some of the negativity and cutthroat competition.
That seems to be the idea, focusing more on being heart-centered, driven by your actual purpose, wanting to make a difference, not just make a buck.
So grounding the practice in your real values, what you actually care about, not just chasing metrics.
Yeah. And that leads right into this whole concept of authentic leadership, the inside-out approach we started with.
Right. The sources talk about soft leadership.
Soft leadership. What does that mean exactly?
Well, it's about supporting others, maybe shining the spotlight on your team or even your patients, empowering them, guiding with genuine care, not just authority.
Okay, I get that. It's realizing that just being real, being authentic actually carries a lot of weight.
More than people think sometimes. That whole my way or the highway thing you see in some business coaching. It just feels so disconnected from how you'd ideally want to interact with patients in a healing profession like chiropractic, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you wonder, what assumptions have we all picked up about what a successful practice has to look like?
Good question. Are you maybe chasing shiny objects, following trends that don't really fit you or your values?
Those outside-in pressures again.
Exactly. Which loops us back to embracing your vanilla. I love that phrase.
Me too. The source puts it so plainly. You don't have to pretend to be someone else to be successful. You can be vanilla and be successful. Because some people love and want vanilla.
And that's the key, isn't it? Attraction. When you're genuinely you, you naturally start drawing in the right patients.
The ones who resonate with your specific approach.
Yes. The ones who appreciate you for who you are, what your practice actually stands for.
It's not about being boring. It's about being true. And the source does say, getting clear on that might take some work, maybe some guidance, training, someone to bounce ideas off,
To help you build a strategy that actually feels like you, not some template you downloaded.
which leads perfectly into identifying your brand's superpower.
Okay, superpower. Like what makes you unique?
Exactly. What makes your practice stand out? Not just we do adjustments, but what's special about your adjustments, your care, your environment. It's finding that inner strength.
Your authentic difference.
Yes. And apparently, there's even like a quick assessment our source mentions to help uncover this. Gets you thinking about your core qualities, your values.
What really drives the practice behind the scenes?
Right. What is it about your way that connects with people?
And thinking about those communication subluxations again. Your superpower is like the clear signal.
Ah,
When you're not clear on it or not communicating it, that signal gets distorted. The connection with the right people is, well, subluxated. It's blocked.
that makes so much sense. And the source gives some cool examples to make it less abstract.
Like what?
Like a practice offering home-brewed kombucha instead of champagne, or focusing on glamping instead of five-star resorts in their imagery or events.
So little details that signal bigger values.
Exactly. Maybe your practice is really focused on community or yoga or kindness or taking action. These things show who you are.
They attract a certain kind of person who values those same things. It's not just random, it creates connection.
It really does. It signals, hey, if this resonates, you might belong here. Way deeper than a generic flyer.
Totally. And there was that great quote included from Timothy Leary.
Oh yeah, read that one.
Everyone carries a piece of the puzzle. Nobody comes into your life by mere coincidence. Trust your instincts, do the unexpected, find the others.
Find the others. I like that.
Applying that here, it suggests that your ideal patients, the ones who will stick with you and really get results, they're out there looking for someone just like you.
It's not about chasing everyone.
No, it's about letting the right ones find you by being you.
So the mission really is to make yourself known,
Hmm.
but authentically.
Yes. Drop the persona if it doesn't fit. Let your real passion, your unique approach just shine through.
In your communication, your office vibe, everything.
That's the inside-out vitalistic way, removing those communication blocks.
So wrapping this up, the big takeaway from this deep dive really seems to be about embracing who you are in your practice.
Definitely. Step away from the pressure, the salesy feeling, and build from that authentic core. Align your communication with your true self.
Clear those communication subluxations,
Exactly. Because the patients who are meant for you, they'll come because of who you are.
not despite it.
Precisely.
So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. Think about what makes you, you. What unique parts of your personality, your values, have maybe already attracted your best, most loyal patients, even if you didn't realize it.
Mm-hmm. How can you consciously amplify that? Explore what your practice's real superpower is. What makes you stand out just by being you? Trust that your vanilla is exactly what someone is looking for.